Hello and welcome to Roosevelt Rebel with your host Tisa Rebel Beltran. This week I want to talk about the healing journey. Like I know last week I got very vulnerable with you guys and talked about me being depressed and not getting out of bed for like 3 months until my dad got a stomach flu and whipped me out of it. But a lot of things happen when you're on a healing journey, when things that you outgrew, that you're trying not to outgrow, and happen, and things are just a lot to handle. So because of the pandemic and the ending of my marriage, I made the decision that I'm not going to be in things that I'm not happy in. So if I'm not happy, I'm getting myself ultimately right out of there. Any situation, a job, anything. If I'm not happy where I'm at, I'm gonna fucking plot twist it. Because I lived my life for almost 3 years with somebody that I was in love with, and they plot twisted my ass hard. So, I will not let myself be exposed to that, per se. I'm not going to let myself be unhappy. So, any job situation that I'm in, I'm out of there. Any friendship that I'm in, and if they're fucking making me feel shitty, I'm out of there. Or I stand up for myself, or I say something. So this week has been challenging with a lot of things that have come my way. So I was sick last week at work, and found out last week after I got hired on at this position that he told me that I'm not going to have time to go to school. Now, I've been going to school now for almost a year. It's going to be this month, it's going to be 1 year back officially achieving my bachelor's degree. So I put all this time and effort in, and this dude is telling me that I'm going to be working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I'm not going to have time for school, that my degree would be good for the company, but I'm not going to have time to achieve it. So that's not a way to fucking make you want to stay in a company. And they don't even have tuition reimbursement for such a huge company, and I'm not going to say what company it is. They do not have tuition reimbursement. They just want you to get in and slave away. And one of my friends, her friend works for the company, and he has been working there for 3 months. And yeah, the pay is great, but he has 2 consecutive days off, but he's still exhausted. What is the point of living your life if you're just going to be in this fucking circle of working and resting, working and resting? America is the only country that does this shit to us, especially for the fact that we don't have universal health care. Our fucking living wage is not a living wage. It's a fucking nothing. $15 isn't going to get anybody a home. If you look at what the houses and rentals are, it's ridiculous. Over $1,000 for a studio apartment. Now, we're not at a workers' outage. Like, people just don't want to fucking work for the wages that they are giving us. It's not a living wage. And luckily, I'm in the position right now where I can make that decision of being happy where I'm at. So I got sick last week because we're out in the fucking heat, and the sun was just fucking beating down, and it was just after the storms of the weekend. The humidity was outrageous. My allergies were insane. I thought that I had COVID. So I left work. Well, first I put a mask on, and then they said if you feel any worse, then you need to, if you want to, you can leave. Like, they had no regard to, like, their other fucking employees, for one. So that was a red flag in a company. So I worked, and I tried to concentrate, and it was a training for driving, which is ridiculous because they make you go through this obstacle course, and it's like, dude, I've been driving for a very long time. I would never put myself in the position to be where you're making us do these obstacle courses. And then when the trainer can't do the fucking course themselves, then that's another red flag. So I put the mask on because I should have had one on, period. But because I don't trust anybody, but I didn't have the mask on that morning, and then I put it on because we were sharing a cab, because I was doing training for delivery. Well, I wasn't even training for delivery. I was just driving a fucking vehicle. So anyhow, so I left because I didn't feel good, and I was like, I'm not going to risk myself. I'm not going to risk anybody around me. I'm not going to risk my family. So I went and I left and I got a COVID test, and it took about 24 hours to get the results. And it was insane at that location. There was so many people. As soon as I pulled in, the line behind me was out onto the street. People were waiting to get in line, and then people don't understand how to understand anything. So one guy was blocking when everybody's trying to give their tests back, because it was a do-it-yourself location where you just go and park, swivel it up in your nose, put it in the cap, because there's so many people. That's how insane this is. Especially in Arizona, surprisingly, we're not too much. I think like I saw 2,300 a day, but we're not as bad as Florida, who had, the last time I checked, was 32,000, and it's been a week since I checked. So anyhow, I went home and I told, because I'm living with my parents right now because of the circumstances that I am unfortunately in. And so I told them, hey, I got tested and I wore my mask and went to bed. But luckily it was negative, and I told my job, I was like, hey, it's negative, so this is what's going on. And they're like, okay, come back on Tuesday. So I had like fucking almost a week off. So I went back Tuesday. I finished out the day. They're making me retrain. So that pissed me off, because it was like classes that I took last week and they're making me redo it. Then they made me redo the fucking obstacle course. So that made me angry. And we're out in the sun again. It's 113 degrees outside, you guys, here. There's no covering. There's nothing. There's no awning. And they have us out in the sun, and they don't want us to be in the shade. So that was irritating. Like, we have our bottles of water, we have everything, but they don't want us to fucking be in the shade. So apparently I'm sun sensitive now, coming back from fucking Colorado. So I made the decision. I have a bunch of job interviews lined up. I have a job actually lined up, and I'm starting it in a couple weeks. So I made the decision that it's not for me, and I'm done. Like, I'm luckily in this position to do that, even though I shouldn't have done it. But you know what? In the long run, I'd rather have my happiness over money, not to put myself in the position to get sick every fucking day, being in the fucking heat, and for them not providing or not even letting us go into the shade. Like, how hard is that? So I quit yesterday. Wait, the day before. So Wednesday I quit. I was like, this isn't for me. And I was like, I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time, because if I even stayed until my other job starts, that's 2 weeks of them thinking that I'm having a route, and that's fucked up. Even though they didn't give a shit about me, of course I still gave a shit about them, because that's who I am. So I said, hey, I this isn't what I'm gonna do. I don't want to do it. And plus, I know that I could do it, but I don't want to. That's the thing. I'm not going to put myself in the position to do things that I don't want to do. So then I had falling out with friends as well. And, you know, sometimes it's just rough. You know, there's things where it's not outgrowing the relationship. It's just, you're not going to put up with certain things that you would have. And I'm not going to put up with anything. You know, I put up with a lot of shit in the past 3 years. I'm not going to put up with anything else. So, coming out of everything, I am a lot stronger, and I'm not going to deal with bullshit. I respect myself way too much. I love myself way too much. And, you know, I do love myself, and I did love myself in my past situations, but I didn't really show it, because I cared and entrusted in the situation. Because now I have a friend that is in the same situation that I was in, and I'm like, dude, you're in the same situation that I was in. And, and she's doing exactly what I did. And you know what? I'm do what you want to do, because I did. And she's like, I never told you anything. I was like, I wish you would have. Because then I would have felt better. I would have known, hey, my homie's got my side. And I love her. No matter what, I still love her. And I told her I'm sorry that, I just respect you and I love you. And you're one of my best friends. And I just don't want you to hurt. And there's a difference when you fight and argue, you bicker. There's a difference, you bicker. But when you're being disrespected, that's a whole new level. And because bickering is bickering, when you're in a relationship, you bicker. You're around each other, you bicker. That's what happens. But when it comes down to disrespecting each other, or one person's disrespecting the other, then peace out. There's no fucking way. And I've never been in that situation but once. And I said, you don't talk to me that way, you respect me. So, hopefully everybody feels this way. I think after everything that we've been through for almost 2 years, you guys, it's been a year and a half. A year and a half. That we fucking get our shit together and respect ourselves and won't stand for anything less than what we are. And fucking America has us tied down to this work until you die mentality. And that sucks. It's shitty. It's a shitty situation and did you know that, I think the statistic was that America is the only one that has this credit system, which gets everybody fucked. Everybody. Even the businesses. Because when that person can't pay the bills and they have to file bankruptcy, or it's a write-off, it's a charge-off, that affects you. It affects them as a business. And so I made the decision, I quit, and I have a job interview, or job set up. I have the final interview. It's like a simple interview coming up. And I have a bunch of other job interviews and job lineup, because yes, even though everybody says it's easier to find a job when you have a job, well, it's easier to respect yourself and not let yourself be in the sun and not getting shade. It's easier to fucking peace out. So I did. In friendships, I'm not going to let anybody fucking control me. In relationships, I'm not going to let anybody control me. So, on this healing journey, you're going to lose people. You're going to see things that you never saw before, and you're not going to stand for shit. I have a friend that I was talking to, and they were like, so what happened in this situation? And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I just want you to know that I'm upset, and I just don't want to, I'm not going to stand for anybody disrespecting me or taking advantage of me. And then she still proceeded to try to get the information out of me. And that was my boundary I laid down. Like, hey, I laid down this boundary and said, I don't want to tell you the situation. I'm over it, but I just want to tell you that I'm upset and I'm hurt. And instead, she still tried to fucking get it out of me for 2 days. 2 days. She still tried to get it out of me. So if somebody's laying a boundary down with you, I didn't get upset with her. I didn't yell at her. I just let it be. And I'm just not going to bring the subject up or fucking, now I know. Do not talk to her about this information. You can't trust somebody when you lay a boundary down and they're not respecting it. But then I was also told that it could be habits from her old life. Because some people who have been in toxic relationships with a narcissist still have the mentality of they need to know everything, and it's an anxiety thing. And I totally get that, because I've been there before where my anxiety was through the roof. I needed to know. I have to know these things. And now I'm just like, no, I don't need to know. If you're not going to tell me, I don't care. You put this boundary down. I'm respecting your boundary. Like, I have grown tremendously for the past 3 years, and I failed myself. Well, I wouldn't fail myself. I trusted somebody too much to where I'm in the position I am now. It's also my fault as well, because I saw the red flags and I didn't fucking... Love is never enough, people. One period. Period. So, in this healing journey, you're going to lose people along the way. And you're going to fucking have these boundaries that you're going to lay down because you have to. You can't let anybody destroy your peace, bother your peace. Like, I am at peace. I am happy. I am living my life to its fullest. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I'm not dating, but I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I'm trying to get